They've come to Vegas with big dreams. Dreams of polishing a tournament resume. Dreams of getting off the bubble and into the dance. Some dreams will come true, and some will come crashing down. It's a big day in the Mountain West. Long live the champion! You are watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. We are waking up in Vegas on an enormous day in the Mountain West, and we start things with the 8th seed Wyoming and the regular season champ San Diego State. This is a seismic day, and look at the games we've got in the quarterfinals. Our second game, terrific. The 4 seed Boise State against the 5 seed Nevada. We've got games all day, and we're glad you're with us. Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Waltz, along with former Gonzaga All-American Dan Dickow. Tournament bids, bubble hopes, and this is just the quarterfinals. We got 4 teams that come in here with a great shot at the tournament.
Yeah, you're right. The Mountain West Conference is one that nationally needs to be looked at very closely. San Diego State is in. 3 bubble teams, but then number 5, Nevada, is an upstart that's been playing really well lately.
Well, San Diego State is the 1 seed because they're the regular season champs, and they've got 2 dynamic offensive players in Matt Mitchell and Jordan Shackle.
2 seniors from Southern California that have continued to keep San Diego State as one of the best programs, not just on the West Coast, but the country. Mitchell, the Conference Player of the Year, is very versatile. Shackle, one of the best shooters in all of college basketball, has done a nice job expanding his game to also be able to put on the deck this year.
The 8th seed Wyoming is rebuilding, but they've had some big moments this year, especially yesterday. 111 points in the first round, and Marcus Williams, Hunter Maldonado are tough covers.
Well, anytime you put up 111 points in a game, you must have great guard play. Marcus Williams, the freshman of the year in the conference, fits that bill well, and Hunter Maldonado is as versatile of wing as you're going to find in the Mountain West. Does a tremendous job of helping make the game easier for others.
Yes, we said 111 yesterday, most in Mountain West history. Obviously a clinic and obviously a concern for Brian Dutcher and San Diego State. The Cowboys are Cinderella. They'd love to pop some bubbles. San Diego State regular season champs. It's quarterfinal day in the Mountain West. They met twice, and neither game was close. Dominant performances by Jordan Shackle and Matt Mitchell. First game 87-57. Mitchell went off 26. And a 27-point win for the Aztecs. Now, Wyoming was down 6 players to COVID protocol in that first game. And Jeff Linder told us today, Dan Dickow, they learned some lessons. They watched that tape, as painful as it was. They've made some adjustments, and certainly we'll see if that works. Kubota brings you the starting lineups. Told you about Williams and Maldonado. Graham EK dropped 32 last night in the opening round against San Jose State. And Terrell Gomez is a 3-point sniper for San Diego State. And Brian Dutcher, in his 4th year, 11 straight wins, lots of momentum, and another regular season championship. And of course, last year, remember, San Diego State, even though they lost the championship, were primed to get either a 2 or a 3 seed in the tournament. Ready to go. Dan Dickow, tempo. What will we look for early here?
Well, San Diego State is one of the best defensive teams in the country. Wyoming, as evidenced last night with their 111 points, they want to play a little faster pace. They have to pick and choose their spots when to get out in transition.
This is Trey Pulliam. He's done a nice job in the starting lineup. Backs up, buries a 3, just like that.
What a start for Pulliam. First possession, shot that with a lot of confidence. Only 10 made threes on the season coming in. That's the type of confidence shot somebody who is a knockdown shooter would take.
Marcus Williams in the backcourt. Maldonado comes for a screen and an offensive foul inside. Kenny Foster with his first personal. Foster in that starting lineup. Of course, this is a court in a city that San Diego State absolutely loves. They play well here. Shackle misses his first three. Rebounding is going to be an issue in this game for the Cowboys. And Dan Dickow, Jeff Linder also said, even though we scored 111 points, we want to control our possessions. If we take bad shots, San Diego State can turn that into transition points.
Well, you're seeing it right away off the bat. They took 7 or 8 seconds to get into their offensive set, shorten the game due to late entries into their offensive sets.
But that was a tough bounce pass. Ike did a nice job to control it, rotate to Dussel, and his three beats the buzzer.
Well, that's the way you play late into the shot clock. Hit a three at the buzzer. Dussel knocks down the corner three. Don't be surprised to see Wyoming shoot 30+ threes. In one of the meetings against San Diego State earlier this year, they took 40 threes.
This guy's an X factor. Terrell Gomez has really come on since entering the starting lineups. Hits that jumper and a 5-3 Aztec lead.
Gomez only 5'8". He doesn't let his size affect his ability to impact the game on either end of the floor. Good defender with his quickness, and he can also finish on the interior.
Speaking of finishing, Marcus Williams, who had 15 points, 10 assists, and 7 steals last night, with a sweet left hand, ties the game at 5. Pulliam again. Shackle with the rebound. They're daring Pulliam to shoot, and he buries another one inside the stripe.
You're exactly right. They are daring Pulliam to shoot. They want somebody besides Williams and Maldonado to beat them. Excuse me, Mitchell and Shackle to beat them. The scouting report is go under on pick and rolls and let Pulliam beat us.
Maldonado weaving. That's a goaltend. I mean, it was impressive. Nathan Mensah got up, but that ball was headed down.
Yeah, that's one of those ones, as an experienced player in Mensah, you've got to just let that one go. You don't want to give them an easy 2 points. Let Maldonado make that play, make that finish.
This is a good start for Wyoming, and I know we're only 3 minutes in, but San Diego State really smacked them in the nose, and it was never close in their first 2 meetings. And Shackle on the baseline.
That's where I think he's really improved his game from his first 3 years. He's always been a tremendous shooter, but the ability to read a hard closeout, ball on the deck 1 or 2 times, pull-up jumper, that's a big-time shot for Jordan Shackle.
Ike in the blocks, motors in. This guy had major knee surgery last year. He wasn't cleared to practice until January.
He has been a nice midseason addition for sure. 32 points in that opening round win over San Jose State. 12 of 14 from the field. He really gives them an added boost and an interior presence.
Well, they doubled Mitchell. They left Pulliam, and Wyoming extracts the basketball.
Well, I like the activity on the defensive end of the floor early for Wyoming. Yes, they're daring guys like Pulliam to shoot. You can't let Mitchell and Shackle have a monster night.
Ike's begging for it against Mensah. Bodies against him, rolls, and Mensah got a piece of that shot. And this is where San Diego State makes their living. Transition buckets, especially with Mitchell and Shackle trailing. Pulliam drives, rises, scores! No, offensive foul, take away the buckets. Position and terrific defense by Wyoming. The 1 seed San Diego State, Cinderella wearing brown, and guess what? Cowboys dead even with the Aztecs. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
college basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By Army National Guard. The next greatest generation is now. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Great faces from this incredible run, started by Steve Fisher, continued by Brian Dutcher, and a 9-9 Wyoming San Diego State score. Now, Dan Dickow, I'm going to make you the Judge Judy of the selection committee. This is a pretty easy choice here, right, with San Diego State?
Without a doubt, I feel they're in the tournament. That net ranking of 21 is absolutely locking them in. The only question concern is record one versus quad one, 0-3. But this year, I think, as opposed to other years, that isn't going to be as big a factor because a lot of teams weren't able to play the non-conference that maybe they were hoping for.
They had a monster non-conference last year. Remember, they beat Iowa, dominated Creighton, hammered Utah, won at BYU, and they just didn't have those opportunities, though they did beat UCLA and won on the road at Arizona State. All right, Wyoming possession. Off the bench, Drake Jeffries. Ball was tipped, no violation, but the shot clock is already down to 7. Williams kicked, Maldonado missed it. Ike kept it alive, and Mitchell saves.
Three-quarter court pressure from the Aztecs really changed that possession for Wyoming. Kind of caught them off guard.
William feeds the post. Mitchell can score down there as well, and that's the difference. How do you guard that if you are a guard trying to stop him?
100%. That's what makes Matt Mitchell such a tough cover at the college level. Yes, he's got perimeter skills, but with his big frame and his wide shoulders, he can put you down on that low block and really create a lot of problems. Wyoming tried to double just late on it.
Maldonado gets a screen, runs into Mitchell, and Mitchell gets the foul. His first. He's so much quicker than he was as a freshman and sophomore. He transformed his body from sophomore to junior.
Maldonado doing a nice job of getting his shoulder down, attacking the body of Mitchell. But as you were mentioning, yeah, Matt Mitchell has completely transformed his body athletically. Lost some weight. With that, he didn't lose any strength, but he gained quickness. And he's also stayed healthy for the most part. Yes, he missed a couple games earlier this year with a minor knee injury, but you talk about improving and being an impact player for 4 years. He is a great example of that.
He said his inspirations for changing his body, Carmelo Anthony and Cam Newton. And after looking in the mirror after his sophomore year, he didn't like what he saw. He went after a NBA-style workout and has stayed with it.
You love that when somebody who, as he was the first 2 years in his program, was having success, didn't want to rest on it. Wanted to challenge himself, wanted to maximize his opportunities, and he's done that.
Mitchell draws 2, kick back out, and Butler, who's into the game, drains the 3s. Not had a lot of success. Just 6 of 23 from distance before that one.
Wyoming showing you what they want to do. Make someone else beat you. They're allowing Pulliam and Butler a little bit of space on the three-point line, whether it's from them going under screens or in that case with Butler knocking down a 3, doubling off those guys onto Mitchell on the low block.
That is deep. That is clean. Wow, Xavier Dussel. 14 apiece and a whistle from the official. The shot clock did not start cleanly.
So here see the double from Dussel come down. Butler does a nice job of getting into the vision of Mitchell. Mitchell the correct play. And Butler knocks it down from deep, but you want to talk about deep. Deep is that 3 from Xavier Dussel. A nice freshman season out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
It feels like Wyoming will live with Butler and Pulliam and Seiko shooting open 3s and not letting Shackle and Mitchell beat them. And hard to the bucket. Lamont Butler's come off the bench, and he's got 5 points.
And sometimes, as a guard, if they're recovering off of a double to a closeout, you can attack them off the bounce. Terrific job from Butler in that scenario there.
Maldonado is an explosive player. 6'7", with touch. Shackle, nice open court move. Shackle's bumped, stumbles, and a foul is called on Wyoming. Marcus Williams, the fabulous freshman from Dickinson, Texas, with the foul. And free throws for Shackle. And just like Mitchell, Shackle has undergone the same transformation. He has honed his body, an NBA workout, and it's paid off. Warner Ladder is the proud title sponsor of the Naismith Coach of the Year Award. Please join us. We announce the winner on April 2nd right here on CBS Sports Network. Shackle used Klay Thompson as his model, not only in terms of workouts, but also the type of player he wants to be.
That's a great example. Similar size, high release. If Shackle can take the inspiration of finding open areas and executing your role, he will have a shot at that next level because he is such a good shooter.
Quan Marble handling against Shackle. Starts his drive. Late shot clock. There weren't many late shot clocks yesterday for Wyoming. Dussel gets to the rim.
Wow. Second bucket now from Wyoming with the shot clock winding down. They are doing everything they need to do to have a chance to knock off the 1 seed. Controlling the pace, making others outside of the top 2 duo of San Diego State beat you.
Butler drives, spins, got tied up. It's a held ball, no, a travel. And Wyoming with a stop.
Wyoming continues to be attached on the defensive end, which is important. You always want to be in sync on that end of the floor. You always hear it offensively, but defensively it's even more important. Every time the ball moves, whether it's a pass or dribble, each player must move. Wyoming doing a really good job with that early here today.
If you've just happened by, this is a fascinating game. Wyoming scored 111 points yesterday, and today they are walking it up the floor, and they've controlled the tempo, and thus they're within 2 of the 1 seed. Shot clock is down. Marble gathers himself, fires it up, and here come the Aztecs. Butler on a reach. Maldonado got him.
Run that shot clock down. You've got to be able to make plays as it strikes 0. Do so doing just that.
First quarterfinal of the day in the Mountain West, and a 2-point lead for San Diego State. Teams in the Mountain West using the Shot Tracker app for real-time analytics. It delivers instant insights to help coaches and players. You can track the location of every player and the ball. Dan Dickow, what do you see?
Well, San Diego State does a nice job of getting open looks, and these are 3 ways they get them. The most important might be the corner threes from Shackle because it keeps the floor space. But another great way to get an open look at the 3-point line is establish the interior. Here you're going to see a cross screen, get the ball to Matt Mitchell on the low block. His defender, Lamont Butler's defender, Dussel, goes to double, opens up all this space, and now it's a long recovery to contest on an open 3 from Butler, who's got his hands and feet locked and loaded. Easy open look from 3. He knocks it down.
Both teams have hit a couple of triples. Butler on the floor. Gomez back in the game. Keyshawn Johnson in there. Big screen from Josh Tomajic and Gomez. If he heats up, that's not a guy you want to leave to double either Shackle or Mitchell.
He's got a tremendous amount of quickness. He's been playing with a lot of confidence as of late. In the 2 matchups against Wyoming this year, scoreless in the first, 14 in the second.
Maldonado driving. Dussel. Gomez has really improved his defense. Thompson is a 3-point shooter. Foster with the clock down, falling away, missed the shot. Mack, the Maryland transfer, missed the shot. Foster has the rebound.
That's the shot Wyoming wants to give up to San Diego State. To Mack, he averages about 5 points a game, but anytime you can get a possession ending without a Shackle or Mitchell opportunity, you're going to take it.
Marble to Maldonado. If ever there's a team with an appetite to guard the entire shot clock, it's San Diego State. It's in their DNA. And here we are again with the clock down. Maldonado stripped to the ball, and Gomez away with it. Butler gets a screen. Kicks. Johnson airballs one.
One of the rare times I think you're going to see for San Diego State, both Shackle and Mitchell not on the floor. Usually one of them is always on the floor.
Again, late shot clock. Marble, that's a difficult shot, and Marble goes down hard on the baseline. Numbers for the Aztecs. Gomez hunting a three. Kick to the corner, three on the way. That was Butler who missed it.
And again, Wyoming walking that ball up the floor. They have been playing deep into the shot clock. You made the comment San Diego State loves to guard throughout the shot clock. That's a rarity because that makes them one of the best defensive teams in the country. We get a chance to take a closer look at these numbers. Look at that, 4th in the NCAA with only allowing 60 points a game. They also climb up into you, make it tough, force 15 turnovers a game, and when the game is really played at a slow pace, they are at their best. Twice this year, teams haven't even scored 50.
And that's what Jeff Linder saw on the film of those 2 blowout wins by San Diego State. Williams driving, kicks, EK, bumped and stripped. Williams got it back. Got to get a shot up though. Dussel, he saves another possession with a buzzer beater.
The 3rd at the end of the shot clock. Kind of a broken possession for Wyoming.
Just like they drew it up.
Exactly.
Kick it around, throw it all over the place, and then get a 3. Short on the 3 is Trey Pulliam. And here's Wyoming, the 8th seed. Nose to nose with the 1 seed and the regular season champ, San Diego State. That is a 10-second violation. You can walk it up, but you got to be a little quicker than that.
Yeah, they've kind of flirted with that 10-second count a number of times. Williams looks up with a little bit of confusion, but it is what it is.
I had to do a double take when Jeff Linder today told us we are going to slow the tempo down. We're going to work the shot clock. It was like, well, what happened last night? He scored 111 last night, but he said we can't do that against San Diego State. They killed us on transition buckets when we missed shots, and we just can't go through that again.
And that's a hard turnaround for a young team. 5 freshmen, 3 sophomores with Wyoming. You play one style one night. The next day you're being told by your coach, we're going to play it slow, we're going to grind it out. But so far they've done a really good job with it.
Dussel. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you got to find the hot hand right now, and Dussel is the hot hand. A nice set there from Wyoming to free him up. You're guarding Dussel. You have got to run him off that 3-point line right now because he is a perfect 4 of 4 from beyond the arc.
Shackle a 3. That's nice. And he's the other thing, Dan, he was kind of a find the space shooter as a freshman. Now he can shoot on the run, catch and shoot, move off a screen.
Yeah, a tremendous job from Shackle using that screen, giving no space for Foster to get through, and then the great footwork, so there's no second guessing. It's just simply catch and up.
Dussel.
That's a heat check.
Yeah.
You got to give him a little bit of freedom, though, after the way he got started.
Pulliam has hit some shots. He's been left open. Mensah, line drive jumper. And it's a 3-point San Diego State lead. 6.5 left. Marcus Williams, freshman of the year in the Mountain West. And lots of responsibility as a point guard and a true freshman. Picks his way through the defense, gets it up. Maldonado rebound. Clock did not reset. Foster's three is good, and it ties the game at 25.
Loose ball opportunities, scrambles are going to Wyoming right now. That's 2 made threes in the last couple minutes on broken plays that they ended up getting second chances with an offensive rebound or a loose ball.
Pulliam left open again, and he hits. And Pulliam right now has 9 points and has essentially been unguarded.
They are daring Pulliam to beat them, not known as a scorer. He's 18 twice this season, including once against Boise State, but he is more of a setup type guy, plays great defense.
Williams around a screen. That's a creative pass to Ike, and he hits the bucket. You get a sense that the energy on the Wyoming bench right now is pretty palpable. Lob pass, not over Maldonado. He'll go up and get that. This is a team that played yesterday, scored 111 points. San Diego State, this is their first game of the tournament. And Wyoming looks really fresh.
Surprisingly fresh, considering they COVID tested this morning. I believe it was 5:45 in the morning, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not. This is Foster in the lane. EK. Man, that guy is strong, and he's going to get 2 free throws. Well, it's been a fun start here.
It has been back and forth. Ducell with the nice little finish in transition, followed up by San Diego State.
You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Bracket Week presented by Kubota, 27 apiece. The 8th seed Wyoming against San Diego State, the 1 seed. How about Xavier Ducell?
I don't know how much more you can say. It's been an unbelievable start for the freshman. Made his first 5 shots from the field, including 4 of 4 from 3. He did it in opportunistic fashion when shot clock's winding down. He did a nice job when they ran options for him. A really nice start for that young man.
And nothing inside that 3-point stripe.
That's my kind of player.
That is. You lived out there, first at Washington, then at Gonzaga, and then in the NBA. And something you said, Dan, that I think needs to be reinforced here, and I know that throughout the country, everybody has hardships, and for these college athletes, it's been a trying season. This game tipped off at noon Pacific time here in Las Vegas. To play in this game, Wyoming, who played yesterday and scored 111 points, had to test in this facility at 5:45 in the morning, which means they had to get out of their hotel probably by 5:15, get on the bus, get here, test. And after that, they actually came down and shot around and walked through, and then went back to the hotel, and they let everybody get another hour or 2 sleep. San Diego State had the same routine. They tested at 6 a.m. Of course, they didn't play yesterday, but still, you guys are creatures of habit. That's really a disruptive routine.
Yeah, you've got to tip your hat to student athletes this year. As there's a foul and a loose ball, we'll figure out who it's on. But you got to tip your hat to student athletes this year of playing, kind of being in a self-isolation compared to years past, and going through the constant testing and then the stress and the wondering, did I pass? Did my teammate pass? Are we going to have a game tonight? It's been a trying season, and I'm so grateful for this season to go off as well as it has.
And not unnoticed is that Matt Mitchell's on the bench now with 2 fouls, 4:15 left in a surprising first half. 8 seed Wyoming and a regular season champ, the 1 seed San Diego State. This is a young Wyoming team. A lot of freshmen out there right now. Pulliam has the loose ball. And he's fouled by one of the freshmen, Marcus Williams. And a timeout. Look at this. The 8th seed, toe-to-toe with San Diego State's Cowboys and Aztecs in the quarterfinals.
Here we go. it in there. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this? Anything can happen in March.
And March is happening right now. The selection show on CBS this weekend. First four gets going on March 18th from Indianapolis, then into the regionals. Of course, the Final Four of the National Championship on CBS this year. The Mountain West bracket. Now, we've been talking about the three bubble teams. We're going to see Boise State, the 4 seed against Nevada after this one, and then later on tonight, Andrew Catalon and Steve Lapis are by for Utah State, UNLV, Colorado State, and Fresno State. I mean, we've been looking at the bubble teams, and all of a sudden, Dan Dickow, here we are with the 1 seed San Diego State down 2 to the 8 seed Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming has come out ready to play. They've taken the momentum that they gained last night and running with it. But I think that when you look at this conference tournament, you got the 3 bubble teams, Utah State, Colorado State, and Boise State, that have obvious resume positives. It'll be interesting to see how those 3 teams finish this week.
Mensa blocked and fouled at the same time. And Nathan Mensah is going to go to the line. If you're just happening by here, the Aztecs have won 11 straight. They're number 19 in the country. They're number 21 in the net. They have dynamic stars, Matt Mitchell and Jordan Shackle. Mitchell is on the bench with 2 fouls, and Wyoming has done a nice job keeping the ball out of Shackle's hands.
You mentioned the 11 straight wins. They've been dominant defensively, allowing only 59 points a game in that stretch, and been great on the glass, nearly 10 rebound differential in their favor. And those are 2 ingredients that are a recipe for success.
And again, Wyoming is controlling the clock and the tempo. Maldonado spins, missed it. Mensah, a vicious rebounder. Williams been wide open, and he just keeps shooting. They don't care if he hits 20 or 25. He's got 11 already, and he's 5 of 7. They just don't want Mitchell and Shackle to beat him.
We've seen the scouting report. We're going to make the others beat us, and right now, Pulliam doing a tremendous job with 11, keeping San Diego State in the lead.
Maldonado against Adam Seiko. Gets into the lane, got him up. There's a bump and a free throw. And Brian Dutcher, hands on head.
Well, because Wyoming is such a good three-point shooter and they focus on it, you get a post-up situation like this, you don't want to leave your shooter to go double, even though Maldonado gets to the sweet spot in the middle of the paint. Gets a little bump to Seiko, gets him up off the ground, creates the opportunity foul from the official at the line for 2.
Seiko with his 2nd foul. Coming up, AT&T 5G at the half. Brent Stover and company get you up to date on a busy day in college basketball. It's coming up on AT&T 5G at the half. Pete Gillen, your buddy Ryan Gomes is there, and John Rothstein, who is, I mean, it's March, so John Rothstein doesn't sleep.
I don't think he sleeps November through March as it is. You want an insight, he's one of the guys that can get it for you.
30 apiece. Under 3 minutes left, first half. Gomez rises.
That's what Wyoming will love, though. A quick opportunity pull-up from Gomez. I think only 6 or 7 seconds went off the shot clock. Now they get the ball, they walk it up, they go play deep into the shot clock.
Again, shot clock down. Maldonado stumbles. Nice save. This is Jeffries. 3 to shoot. He does, and it was on line, but just short.
Yeah, from our vantage point, I thought it was going in.
Now Pulliam again. Johnson, corner 3. And again, this is exactly what Wyoming wants.
Back-to-back shots that aren't by design for San Diego State. Mitchell struggled with A couple fouls on the bench, but got to find a way to get Shackle a little bit more involved in the offense.
Keyshawn Johnson just bulldozed Drake Jeffries.
Bulldozed is right. I mean, a screen comes, you're taught to fight through it, but it's a term fight through it. More likely you're supposed to fight around or over the top, not run through the chest of the screener.
Each coach tells you before the game, hey, against this guy, we're going over the screens, we're going under the screens, not through the screens.
Yes.
And Jeffries gets free throws. And it's 1-1. To illustrate this different tempo, and again, Jeff Linder watched the tape of the first 2 blowout wins by San Diego State, said we can't do this anymore. Wyoming from distance is 5 of 9 in this half, and that's really, really good. They took 73s combined in those first 2 games. 70. They made 20 of them.
Coach Linder does a really nice job with his team of giving them freedom to play. As a player, you want that freedom, but you also have to be responsible with it and taking good shots.
Well, right now, the 8th seed, Jeff Linder, and the Cowboys up. Tomorrow, starting at 12 Eastern, CBS Sports Network brings you the 2021 Air Force Reserve Conference USA semifinals from Frisco, Texas. One step closer to an NCAA tournament bid. Louisiana Tech and Western Kentucky, top seeds in Conference USA. Last 12 games, remember they've won 11 straight. The Aztecs have been dominant, and they've not been behind for like, almost a month and a half of games at halftime. It's been a terrific half here, especially for Wyoming. Shackle on the floor. Good shot fake, but he missed the jumper. And EK has established himself inside. His 4th rebound to go with 6 points. And that's a turnover.
San Diego State turning up the pressure. Came out trying to trap at half court. Sped up Marble, leading to the turnover. There's a couple different ways San Diego State can force turnovers. They're great on the ball, but they're also really good at trapping and changing up their defenses as well.
Screen comes, Gomez, quick trigger. Williams had a big half, missed the shot, and Tomajic knocked it out of bounds.
I mean, you've mentioned it a couple times. They are literally sitting in the lap of the post player. Pulliam catches it at that 3-point line. The defender is 7-8 feet off, daring him to shoot.
And the Cowboys, who average 75 a game, have been deliberate, hit some big shots. Xavier Ducell has gone for 14, hitting 4 threes. This is a game Dean Smith would have liked, right? Not quite the 4 corners. Ducell again misses the 3. 25 to play in this first half. And a timeout by Brian Dutcher will step aside as well. This is a surprise happening right now in the Mountain West. It's a real interesting situation for Brian Dutcher. Wyoming is taking away Shackle. Mitchell's on the bench with a couple fouls. Dan Dickau, as he's drawing up plays, are you taking what Wyoming is giving you, or are you trying to impose your offensive will on them?
I think what you do is you continue to run the stuff that you have throughout the season that has been successful, getting Mitchell, who's not in the game right now, but more importantly, Shackle, who is in, good looks. You don't want to take away any confidence from a guy like Pulliam, who they're playing off, because he's really played well tonight so far. 11 points. Make them shoot with confidence, but here at the end of the half, it'd be interesting if they go soon, because Wyoming's got a foul to give.
Gomez against Marble, gets into the lane, got up, got fouled, and scores. That's not the way you wanted to give that foul.
That's exactly right. You had a chance up top when the pick and roll started to occur where you could have fouled, but then the quickness of Gomez is so difficult to contain. He gets to the paint, he draws the foul, he has the nice finish, chance of three-point play, which might put San Diego State up going into the half, depending on if Wyoming can convert on the last possession.
4 seconds left. Gomez, a great free throw shooter in the 80s. Averaged 20 a game last year at Cal State Northridge. Dussel, well, he's got that kind of range. Rises and darn near hit it. But the 1 seed San Diego State on top, only a point. And their eyes opened by this 8 seed Wyoming, who had to play yesterday. Put 111 on the board and absolutely controlled this first half. Coming up after the break, we'll send you back to our New York studio. Brent Stover and the gang standing by for AT&T 5G at the half. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. In the Mountain West, first game of the day, and look at this. The 1 seed San Diego State up by only a point, 33-32. Rich Waltz along with Dan Dickow. The storyline here, Wyoming had to play yesterday, and they hung 111 points on San Jose State. And then Jeff Linder, their coach, told us today, you know what, we're going to slow this down, control the clock, control the tempo, and boy, did they ever.
Yeah, such a difference from last night where you mentioned 111 points. The game was up and down. This game at half, 33-32, and you got to give Linder a lot of credit to have the guts to slow it down and his players to execute it, and no one has executed as well as Xavier Dussel in that first half. Attacking with dribble drive actions and then being opportunistic from deep. On the flip side from San Diego State, they have recognized the game plan for Wyoming and making others than their leading 2 scorers beat you. Trey Pulliam had a nice first half with 11 points to kind of offset the struggles of Matt Mitchell.
First half stats, 5 of 10. Now that's significant because in the first 2 games that Wyoming played San Diego State, they took 70 three-point shots. So they've been a little more measured there as well. And Pulliam with 11, Dussel 14. They are the leading scorers. And at the bottom of the line, you see Matt Mitchell, 2 points, but 2 fouls. And it will be interesting to see the impact he has when he's back on the floor. And here we go. Second half. The Cowboys have the first possession.
I would expect San Diego State to change things up defensively to try to get Wyoming to speed things up. Maybe trap, maybe three-quarter pressure, which they did on a couple occasions, but got to find a way to get Wyoming out of their comfort zone and play a little faster than they did in the first half.
And remember, Wyoming is really young. Marcus Williams, Xavier Dussel, and Graham Ike are all freshmen. That's Ike, and Mensah bodied him, and that's a foul a long way from the basket. Second personal on Mensah.
I like the idea of getting up playing physical, but you also have to be smart. You can't foul a non-shooter 15 feet away from the basket like Mensah did on Ike there.
Ike was thinking jump shot the whole time. He misses the 10-footer. Gomez pick and roll. Mensah stripped by Dussel. Aztecs get it back.
Tremendous pocket pass from Gomez for San Diego State, but even better defense by Dussel. Help side was early, and then gets a hand on it.
Shackle doubled. And that's a 5-second to held ball. Possession arrow goes to San Diego State, but Shackle clearly frustrated. How do you stir up tempo if you're San Diego State?
Well, a lot of what they do to get in transition is create turnovers. Wyoming did a nice job in that first half, only turning it over 5 times. So San Diego State wasn't able to get easy buckets, but that right there is an easy opportunity for Shackle. Inbounder, many times the most dangerous player on the floor. A throw and go back and get it, corner 3.
Jeff Linder said Maldonado is kind of a throwback point forward. He's handled the ball a lot. Ike jumps out, finds a corner 3, open there, and Williams hits it. There's an answer by Wyoming.
You want to speed the game up defensively and trap, but you can't gamble and get out of position, which San Diego State did there, giving Williams the open 3.
Pulliam gets another open jumper and hits it, and Wyoming is going to live with that.
We've seen that in the first half. That's their game plan. Make Pulliam beat you.
He's got 13 in the game. San Diego State, ever since Steve Fisher arrived and continuing with Brian Dutcher, have always been elite defensively. That would be an offensive foul.
That would be an offensive foul, and that would be tremendous job from Mensa. First with a little swipe to get Ike uncomfortable, and then take it in the chest.
Yeah, well,
maybe sold it a little bit on second glance, but at the same time, he slid his feet, he took it in the chest.
They don't usually call flops on big guys, right? It's usually the littler guys that get the flop warnings. Pulliam rises, missed the shot, and that's going to be a Wyoming basketball. "11 straight wins for San Diego State, streaking to yet another Mountain West Conference regular season title. It's their 8th. Open in the corner, and a 3 by Kenny Foster.
This is the start Wyoming wanted. A couple threes off of breakdowns defensively for San Diego State has them locked up at 38.
Mitchell begging for the ball, whips it. Pulliam takes the 3, no, and Maldonado has the rebound. A wise coach or two has always said the best way to control another team's tempo is to make shots. And Wyoming is doing that, right?
Yes, absolutely. A game of basketball actually comes down to a very simple thing for me, and that's make more shots than your opponent.
Foster cuts to the bucket, missed the shot. Mensa cleans it up.
You can clean up a lot of defensive inefficiencies by scoring it. I like to think of myself as a great example of that.
Gomez. And Dussel has the rebound. And the other thing here, Wyoming has not been dominated on the boards. And San Diego State can do that to an opponent. Williams takes the screen, going on Mensa. Cut off. And that high degree of difficulty is a turnover. Mitchell driving, charging. Block, not a charge.
That looked like a charge to me. Well, I'm sure we'll get a second chance to look at it. My guess would be Maldonado was in the charge circle, but
that's a hard look as an official.
That's a hard bang bang call.
As an official, you're watching this in real time, full speed. And I don't know what the right call is, even though we've seen it twice.
Yeah, I mean, you could go either way, to be honest with you. That's one reason I would never want to be an official. There are some tremendous officials. We've got a couple of them working the game here today, but don't ever put my name in the official pool. I will withdraw immediately.
Paramount Plus is here. Live sports, breaking news, and a mountain of entertainment. Paramount Plus, try it free. Mitchell, one of the most versatile players in all of college basketball. Hits a couple free throws. And full court pressure has been handled by Marcus Williams and Hunter Maldonado of Wyoming. There's Williams down the lane, kicks. Foster, corner three. I think Gomez may have altered that shot. Mitchell, you can't leave him open. And he misses the three. He's a little rusty though, he hasn't had many looks.
Only 12 minutes in that first half with those 2 fouls, but you see a stop from Wyoming, walk the ball across the half-court line, almost another 10-second count. They are continuing to run it deep into the shot clock.
Williams probes, got by, oh wow, the explosion.
What a play. Explodes once he makes his decision, and then a nice finish on the other side of the rim.
This game has been tied 13 times. Shackle, how quick is that release?
Well, it's such a quick release because he has great footwork. Any young players watching this game, yeah, Shackle has a quick release up top, but it's his footwork that allows him to get it off quickly because he doesn't have to fix it upon the catch.
Shackle starting to heat up, has a dozen. Ducell, who had 4 threes in the first half. EK, big man, and he's only a freshman out of Aurora, Colorado.
He's got a bright future, that's for sure. You mentioned the knee injury he suffered last year in high school. He's been a nice boost to Wyoming down the stretch of this season.
Gomez around the screen. There's some weapons there. Gomez, Shackle, Mitchell, and Pulliam is having quite a day. That one he created on his own. He's got 15.
You got to give him a lot of credit. A lot of times when the scouting report is to let you shoot, you kind of freeze up. He's done a nice job of attacking when there's gaps in space, as well as when a shot presents itself, stepping up and shooting it with confidence.
Maldonado spins away from pressure, driving, and Mensah has the rebound. Aztecs by 2. Shackle. Missed shot by San Diego State. Wyoming still content to walk it up the floor. Foster, he's just a sophomore. You got 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and Maldonado, the junior. And right now they are toe-to-toe with the #1 seed and the regular season champ, the 8 seed Wyoming. Upset in the making in the Mountain West. Can the Cowboys pull it off? You're watching Bracket Week, and it's presented by Kubota. 1 seed San Diego State on top, but only by 2 over 8 seed Wyoming. Time now for stacking up the stats, and it's brought to you by Pringles. What you got, Dan Dickow?
Well, Trey Pulliam is approaching a career high. It's 18. He's done it on 3 separate occasions. He's got 17 now, 15. But they are coming at an opportune time. Wyoming's game plan is make someone other than Mitchell and Shackle beat you. Pulliam has stepped up and made plays throughout the afternoon. You see the numbers. He has more than doubled his season average. San Diego State is going to win. He's going to need to continue to make the correct reads and plays, whether it's score for himself as he's done or get others involved.
Dan, it's one thing if you're Wyoming to completely change your style of play, which they've done. It's another thing to ask 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior to execute it against one of the elite defensive teams in the country in San Diego State. And Wyoming is doing that.
100%. It's impressive the patience that Wyoming has played with. Because when I heard with Coach Linder today they were going to slow it down, I kind of gave it a chuckle. It was like, I don't see that happening. You played last night, you had 111, but he's got his team bought into the message, and they're playing at the pace that they feel is going to give them the best chance to win.
And you know what? It's absolutely working. It's dead even, 44 apiece. 8 seed. Yeah, the Mountain West regular season champ San Diego State. And of course, San Diego State number 19 in the country, number 21 in the net.
And just watch Ducell guarding the ball, guarding Butler now. He hasn't even looked to pressure the ball. He has been guarding at that free throw line area that whole possession. Next time down, keep your eye on that.
Butler with a strong drive, but missed the shot. This is Quan Marble, a sophomore. Maldonado driving, and Seiko got a hand on the ball and then appeared to go down and is limping a bit. You got Mitchell coming off the bench.
Mitchell, Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. I expect him to start getting some opportunities. He is had way too good of a senior year and career to not have the ball in his hands a lot down the stretch.
Ducell's been quiet here in the second half. Maldonado crossed over, lost it. Marble driving, creating, and goes down hard. Here comes Butler. He's explosive. Wow, that is a block. Butler had a head of steam here.
Butler had all the momentum, runs right into Thompson. I mean, Thompson wasn't able to get in front, stay in front, draw that foul, but Butler delivered a hit.
Maldonado against Mitchell. Butler's open, and his three is good.
And it's going to be curious. I had just mentioned Ducell. He was nowhere near Butler that entire possession. Now that Butler hits a three, will they adjust and Ducell play more straight traditional defense on the ball?
Butler had a three in the first, adds one here in the second. And the Aztecs back up by 3. 8 minutes in, second half. Maldonado, Mitchell so good defensively. That is a running, rolling hook.
Wow. Crafty. Spin move to the hook. Don't see that every day.
Butler, Johnson, and it drops.
There's two ways to attack a defender guarding so soft. Knock down threes like Butler did on the previous possession, or like that one, get ahead of steam and attack the defender.
It's a great example of that last sequence. San Diego State trying to stir up tempo with a little greeting at half court, and Wyoming didn't bite. Marble, great move. I think he stepped out of bounds. He did.
Back and forth at the Thomas and Mack. Lamont Butler, you're not going to guard me? That's fine. I'm going to knock it down from 3. And then on the other end, the craftiness. Hunter Maldonado.
Bracket week presented by Kubota. 1 seed San Diego State in a tight one with the 8 seed Wyoming in the Mountain West. This is the first of 4 today on CBS Sports Network. The 4 seed Boise State, the 5 seed Nevada is probably the game of the day, but you've got 2 bubble teams in Utah State and Colorado State in action tonight as well. Oh, Jerry Palm, where do you have your last 4 in and last 4 out? You've got a couple of Mountain West teams squarely in this bubble equation. Boise State last 4 in, Utah State last 4 out, and Colorado State is probably right behind Utah State in those last few teams out.
Yeah, you're talking about some really good teams there. Boise State, unfortunately, has lost 3 in a row, so I feel today is a must-win. But, you know, Utah State's had a nice year as well.
Well, Matt Mitchell, remember, had 2 fouls in the first half, and they've done a nice job defensively. It looks like in this sequence, which was just moments ago, even the coaching staff says, hey, man, he's open.
Yeah, you got to not let the frustration of having a difficult night and then not getting the ball in opportunities that you feel maybe you have an advantage or an opportunity to affect you down the last 11 minutes or so stretch run of this game. He's put together too good of a season, too good of a career not to get him involved right now.
Butler's playing some nice minutes. He's a really good freshman. out of Riverside Poly High School in Southern California. It's hard to be a freshman and get any run for the Aztecs. And traditionally, they've been so deep and so good. Mitchell got some as a freshman.
It's a rarity in college basketball. If you're experienced, you've got an enormous advantage.
Mitchell rising, came up short, and he thought he was fouled. And it's a Wyoming basketball.
But you saw the possession down the floor. They got a cross-screen action to get Mitchell. He drew a foul, and then off the baseline out of bounds, they get him the ball isolated at that elbow area. Couldn't convert.
One of the things that San Diego State is better at in the last few years is offense. And I was talking to Mark Fisher, assistant coach, and he said that it's the ability to have shooters. I mean, you got three really good ones, right? In Shackle, Mitchell, and Gomez. And the fact is that defensively, they don't sacrifice their traditions of defense and rebounding with that trio. Gomez has gotten better. Mitchell and Shackle are elite defenders.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think last year is the first year that I could really see that and agree with that. As Ducell knocks down a big three.
He's back.
He is back. But I think last year's team with Malachi Flynn, the transfer from Washington State, having such a great season kind of really changed my perception of the San Diego State program from being tremendous defensively, but to still being good defensively, but also able to score it really well.
Tie game again. Butler short. Ducell has the rebound. The last time San Diego State has trailed in the second half, mid-January. I mean, we're almost mid-March. So it's almost 2 months since the Aztecs have trailed. Now, they've not trailed yet. Foster, a three. Foster, a three! Now they trail. First time in almost 2 months.
Talk about shooting the ball is contagious. It's getting contagious for Wyoming. Back-to-back threes.
Just wow. First Ducell, and then Foster. Heavy underdogs, the 8th seed, the Cowboys on top. AT&T 5G game summary, the 8th seed on top of the regular season champs. And three-point shooting, Dan Dickow, that's your specialty, and that's what the Cowboys have done.
In March, if you're the underdog, a lot of times you got to get hot from three, and Wyoming has done just that. 9 threes on the afternoon with almost 10 minutes left. Xavier Dussault has been on fire with 5 of those himself, but Kenny Foster, his sidekick, with 3 of his own. If you're Wyoming, keep playing patient, play with space, and shoot it with confidence.
Last time a 1 seed went down, that was a regular season champion Air Force. They went to the NCAA tournament. That was in Joe Scott's first run. So it's been a while. And we told you during this win streak, and for the first time since mid-January, San Diego State is behind in the second half. And clearly this tempo, this pace, this game plan for Wyoming is frustrating the Aztecs.
Maldonado, great job pushing Mitchell's catch out darn near to the half-court line.
Mitchell bumped, and that was before the shot. That's another thing that we focused on San Diego State and their great defense. Wyoming has been terrific defensively in this game.
Well, they've done a really nice job of making things difficult on San Diego State's 2 leading scorers. Shackle's only had a couple opportunities where he's been able to break free coming off screens. And then Maldonado in particular has done a nice job of forcing Mitchell's catches almost to half court and fighting his post-up opportunities as well.
Gomez gets loose, 3 on the way. It's a 2. His foot was on the line. So it's a 2. And a 1-point Wyoming lead. You saw Maldonado lead. That's a huge loss. Maldonado has helped control the tempo, both offensively and defensively. And he's out with 4 fouls, and there's 9 minutes left. Thompson. And that one rolls over the backboard. Hunter Thompson, which is a good name for Las Vegas. 6'10", 235 pounds. He's a 3-point shooter, and so is Gomez. And there's the foot.
We'd like to have that catch back and slide his right foot back 3 or 4 inches. But a lot of people would think, hey, that shot from the 6'11" Thompson's a bad shot. That's actually his specialty. He's great as a perimeter shooting big.
Thompson got absolutely clobbered on a screen, and San Diego State has reclaimed the lead. Williams, a freshman. Dussel, a freshman. Foster, the sophomore. Ike, a freshman. Thompson, a junior, on the floor for Wyoming. And you got some heavy-duty seniors on the floor for the Aztecs. Gomez a steal. Taken right back by Williams, who walks the line, almost went into backcourt.
Gotta love that play and that effort from Williams. He turns it over. Instead of dropping his head, he immediately gets back on defense. He comes up with a steal himself.
And happy to run clock. An EK screen, a Williams 3. Oh! Banks it in!
Basketball is such a funny game. You make a concerted effort to make the right plays that I just pinpointed with Williams. The next time you're gonna get some luck, the bank 3 from straight away.
Gomez driving. And a rebounding foul on Nathan Mensah.
Marcus Williams sticking with it. The defense goes under the screen. I'm gonna raise up behind it. I didn't mean to bank it, but I'll take it.
You're watching Bracket Week, brought to you by Kubota. Well, this should be a very spirited Inside College Basketball. Talking all things conference tournaments, just the start here in the Mountain West. Matchups, highlights, projections. Pete Gillen going crazy. Brent Stover, the point guard. Ryan Gomes, John Rothstein. 55-53. The 8 seed Wyoming up by 2. Shot tracker, and not just shots, but passes that lead to shots.
I think this is an important stat, not just for Wyoming, but from all basketball teams. When you make multiple actions and you break the defense down, it leads to extra swings with the ball, get it to the opposite side of the floor. And with that, you create opportunities for the defense to break down. With that comes the opportunity for more open shots. And I think Wyoming has done a nice job of that on most possessions this afternoon.
Oh, and that's a reference to last night when, if you think this is an upset, last night the number 7 seed women's team from Wyoming won the Mountain West Championship. The 7 seed, playing 4 games in 4 days, and they had a lot of swing that led to open threes last night.
So much about basketball is creating an opportunity on the offensive end, putting the defense at a disadvantage or a rotation. If they're late, the next guy has to come help, and it creates a better opportunity for yourself on that offensive end. And Wyoming has done a good job of that throughout this game.
And we'll keep our eyes out on Hunter Maldonado, who's on the bench with 4 fouls for Wyoming. He's been a key in this game, handling the ball, defending Mitchell. Williams probes. Shot clock down. Williams launches, and this is long.
They had a switch. The smaller Seiko was on Ike. They couldn't get to it because of great ball pressure from the Aztecs defensively.
Mitchell thought about a 3. Gomez, rocket quick. With a left.
Not only is he quick, but for his size, he is unbelievably strong. He gets that shoulder by you. As a defender, there's not much you can do.
His game has really rounded out this year, playing at San Diego State. No longer just a scorer or a 3-point shooter. Williams. Thompson retrieves, got to get it up. Foster driving, off the glass. That's not a violation, but it may be a foul. And it's Mitchell's foul, it's his 3rd. That was a weird sequence. And what seemed like a late whistle, the shot clock went off, but that was after the ball hit the rim. And that's the foul. Mitchell The weird thing is the Mitchell contact came after the buzzer sounded, signaling a shot clock violation, which it was not.
It's actually a good foul. Otherwise, EK would have had an easy rebound and put back 2 points.
Williams, Thompson can't hold it. Pulliam with Shackle. Corner three, no. Thompson a rebound, and EK fouls on the rebound. Mitchell had good position.
EK looked at the official after that play and said, come on, that's an easy one of the easier ones we've had this afternoon.
Third personal on Graham EK. Gomez is loose again.
Tremendous execution on baseline out of bounds. So many times the best coached teams across the country execute in situations where it's baseline or sideline out of bounds. That's a great example of Coach Dutcher really taking the time throughout the season to really work on the details.
Dussel, dangerous, rises, Dussel, oh, another one! Hand in his face. The freshman from Scottsdale buries another. And the 8 seed ain't going away anytime soon. Wow.
That is just a stare down three. Doesn't really use the pick and roll. Kind of a half switch. Mensah doesn't necessarily get out there soon enough. Dussel raises up, knocks down another. Is 6-3 of the afternoon. You want to be playing your best basketball in March, and that's exactly what Dussel is doing. A career high 20 now for that young man. Had 19 last night against San Jose State.
And look at the three-point shooting, 6 of 9 as you noted. Last night, 5 of 7. So in less than 24 hours, he's dialed in. And in 2015, the last time they got to the semifinals, they won and went on to the NCAA tournaments. That was a Larry Shyatt-led team. Larry Nance Jr., Josh Adams. Pulliam driving. Loose ball. Foster. Shackle a three. Shackle with a three.
It's winning time. Final 5 minutes of the game, you would expect your seniors, whether it's Shackle with that three or Mitchell, to have the ball in their hands and determine the outcome of this game if you're San Diego State.
When do you bring Maldonado back off the bench?
I would imagine it's got to be soon. He's done a really good job defensively on Mitchell.
Dussel against Mensah. That's a mismatch. Dussel got to the bucket and Mensah fouls.
San Diego State has been switching a lot this half. Mensah usually is pretty good in that situation where he can keep the ball handler in front because he's got good length. He can move his feet laterally pretty well, but Dussel, nice job turn the corner, get himself to the line for 2.
First free throw is off.
He must have needed a hand in his face because he's made some tough ones today.
Rolls that one in. It's a 1-point lead for the 1 seed San Diego State. 4.5 minutes left. Ball game.
Look at Dussel again, way off of Pulliam defensively.
Mitchell. No. Dussel. And I know it's 1 versus 8, and you see that in a lot of conference tournaments, but in this conference, the distance between the top 4 teams and the rest of the field is pretty darn dramatic. So this is a huge gap between a 1 and an 8 in this opening round here in the quarterfinals of the Mountain West. And Shackle fouls EK. Under 4 timeouts. This would be a seismic upset in the landscape of the Mountain West and college hoops. The Cowboys of Wyoming hanging in against the Aztecs.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Pringles. Stack flavors, make new ones.
Some great memories there for the Cowboys, beating San Diego State in the championship game in 2015. Saw Josh Adams and Larry Nance Jr. and Larry Shiath. Heavy underdogs in this quarterfinal game. But Wyoming, with Jeff Linder and his game plan, have hung in by one. And for San Diego State, the last time they lost a game, well, it's 11 games ago, and it was on the road in Logan, tough place to play. And Utah State beat them. In fact, Utah State swept San Diego State. The format for Brian Dutcher and all the coaches in the Mountain West, you play twice your opponent in a span of 3 days. Somewhat of a foul trouble reset. Maldonado's got 4, Mensah's got 4, Mitchell and Shackle with 3. EK not a great free throw shooter. But remember, he did not play or practice for almost 14 months. He had a severe knee injury, ACL surgery. He wasn't cleared to practice until January of this year. As a true freshman, here he is in a big moment, and he hits both free throws. You see Maldonado on the bench, and he's off the bench, and he's coming to the table. Pulliam, Mitchell, EK out on him. Tomajic begging for it, backing in on Thompson. Tomajic gets under and in, missed it. Thompson has the rebound. Ducell against Shackle.
Another pick and roll for Wyoming. It's going to be interesting to see if they make the correct read, whether San Diego State switches or not. They have been switching.
Williams whips it. Foster, too strong. Way too strong. And now, Hunter Maldonado, the most experienced Cowboy, a guy that has controlled the tempo, has played great defense, comes off the bench with 4 fouls and 3:09 left.
And this is what you wanted. You took him out, Jeff Linder. You wanted the game to still be where it's at, a 1-possession game either way. Then you get your leader back on the floor.
Gomez, quick 3. Yes! Huge shot for the Aztecs.
Wow. The difference in guarding Gomez versus Pulliam or Seiko in that scenario. Ducell goes under, Gomez makes him pay.
Gomez has 18, and that leads the Aztecs. This has been the game plan throughout. A team that scored 111 yesterday has taken the air out of the ball. Foster in a crowd, and that's not good when that crowd is San Diego State. Gomez, lob, Mensah missed the dunk. EK has the rebound, and Wyoming down 2.
That could come back to haunt San Diego State. So important in these situations. If you can't finish cleanly, come down with it. Make yourself available to get fouled or finish it.
You just don't see this in the game these days. A team literally taking the clock down and then going into action. Maldonado, step back, not a good 3-point shooter, and he hits it! He has struggled well under 20% this year from distance, and Maldonado gives Wyoming a 1-point lead.
Got to get the ball in Matt Mitchell's hands. Conference Player of the Year.
Gomez driving in the lane. Shot was blocked, but he's fouled. Ducell thought he had all ball. Gomez will shoot 2.
You said it, Rich. Maldonado's not a great 3-point shooter, under 20% on the season. but stepping up in a big situation to knock that one down. On the flip side, Ducell's got to make that adjustment guarding a non-scorer or non-outside shooter to Gomez. You've got to gap him. Don't give him dribble penetration angles. More importantly, don't put him at the line.
Gomez a great shooter wherever he is. Free throw line, three-point, inside, outside. This for the lead. San Diego State back on top. And back to the waiting game. Maldonado, an eye on the clock and an eye on Mitchell. And then once you hit 10, it's go time. Maldonado again. Lost the ball. Ducell clocks down. Ducell's got distance on the way. No. Foster the rebound, and he's fouled. Gomez with the foul, and a chance for Wyoming to reclaim the lead. A minute 2 left.
San Diego State's defense is locked down much better these last few possessions, being active, getting their hands on the ball. That time popped right back out to Ducell, who had no choice but to launch the deep three, and then Foster active on the glass.
And he misses the free throw. It goes to Wyoming. Foster misses the front end, but Wyoming a break as it last touched San Diego State. Pulliam in. Here's a look. The San Diego State bench has been screaming for a review, and the officials are going to take a look at it.
Clearly off Mitchell's hands. Correct call by the official.
That's a great look. Great work in the truck and for our women and men on the cameras here in the Mountain West. Not just the players, not just the announcers, but the staff. Anybody that's in this building has undergone extreme COVID safety protocols.
Clearly should be Wyoming basketball, but in that situation, the scenario, yes, Foster is a pretty good free throw shooter. San Diego State, you got to expect and anticipate a miss and block out. You got to root the Wyoming player who's to your outside on the free throw lane line. You got to block them out. San Diego State simply looked as if they just turned and went to the ball.
Sometimes what'll get you, I've heard rebounders on free throws in specific talk about the second bounce off the rim. And that ball, it hit once, and then it came down and hit twice. Yeah. And sometimes you can do just what you said. You can block out, you can root, and you can anticipate. But that second bounce sometimes can get you. Williams will inbound. Freshman of the year in the conference, driving. Freshman of the year in the conference, missing. And Shackle has the rebound. San Diego State a 1-point lead. Under a minute left. Pulliam races into front court, calls the timeout. And the regular season champ, who've been on the ropes and really pushed, have 49 seconds to protect this 1 seed, protect this 1-point lead. This is much more of a game than anybody expected. They played twice, both blowouts. You see the reset. Possession arrow is in Wyoming's favor. Just 1 timeout left for San Diego State.
Well, you look at the foul situation, and many times you think, hey, we're down 1, we need to foul. I disagree in this situation with 49 seconds. You've done a nice job defensively. Play this possession out. to the end. Get a stop, make sure you secure the rebound, and then if you do that, you have a chance to win the game in the waning seconds.
It's funny, we've watched this entire game with Wyoming, the explosive offense, who had 111 yesterday, absolutely walk the ball up the floor, wait the clock out, and we've seen San Diego State on their possessions have a real sense of urgency to get it going and to whip it up and really roll. Now, if you're San Diego State, maybe not so urgent, but at least you're looking for a really good shot.
Yeah, and I would expect a couple possible looks for San Diego State. Maybe Shackle coming off a screen. If he gets a great look, he's got the freedom to knock it down. But then, more importantly, I would expect the ball to be in Mitchell's hands on the low block because he could put so much pressure on the defense.
You see those game trends. The big, to me, look, San Diego State's lead of 4. That's the biggest lead in this game. Mitchell will inbound. Gomez is out there. Mensah, Seiko, and Shackle. Gomez at the controls. It's a page out of Wyoming's playbook. Shackle came for the screen. Gomez. No, long rebound, and Wyoming has it. Foster with the ball, 20 seconds left. The 8th seed, down a point. Final moments. Mountain West, quarterfinal. Maldonado driving on Mitchell. Back out. Williams 3. No! Rebound Mitchell. 5 seconds left. Everything has worked for Wyoming from the start except that possession.
They attacked in ways that it's been successful for them throughout the day. A dribble drive attack from Maldonado. Williams gets an okay look, just comes up short. Rebound comes to Mountain West Player of the Year, Matt Mitchell, who can create some separation with these free throws.
And a timeout. Wyoming has 2 timeouts. They're going to use one here and try to maybe freeze Mitchell, who's a very good free throw shooter at 82%. And of course, Wyoming, we've seen them from 3. They have been brilliant today, 12 of 24. So even if he drops 2 in, this one's not done.
It's not done in the least. If he does happen to make 2, then obviously, yes, Wyoming must go for a 3, but that hasn't been a problem today whatsoever for Wyoming. 12 of 24 from that 3-point line. 3 Cowboys with multiple threes, Williams, Foster, and Dussel on the afternoon. So they've got opportunities if they're coming down quickly in transition after maybe a rebound or an inbound after a made free throw.
Regardless of what happens here, whoever plays San Diego State next, whether it's the semifinals of this tournament or the first round of the NCAA tournament, this game tape is going to be front and center when they scout San Diego State.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, it's one of those kind of funny things. Coaches work on different things throughout the season, but they keep them in their back pocket until the postseason play. I'm sure if you were Leon Rice at Boise State or Steve Alford in Nevada, you're looking at this game film if San Diego State prevails to prepare and thinking, okay, what do we have in our back pocket that could surprise the Aztecs based on what we did during the regular season?
Of course, to make it work, you have to handle the ball, you got to shoot the threes, you got to play the defense, and Wyoming has done all of that. But right now, San Diego State has their guy at the line, Matt Mitchell. He'll shoot 1 and 1. San Diego State does not have anyone on the lane. First one's down.
An interesting thing to look at is if Mitchell hits this free throw, they'll be up 3. They might foul to put Wyoming on the line and not give them a chance to shoot a 3.
He made it. Let's see if they do foul. Wyoming's going to call a timeout. How do you, I mean, look, we see this in the college game, and most coaches will foul. The question I would say have for you as an offensive player, as a three-point shooter in your career, how in the world do you avoid that if you're on offense?
Well, here's the thing, is if San Diego State employs that tactic to foul, you have to be very careful to do it in a timing and in a manner where there is no doubt in the official's mind that the offensive player is in the motion to shoot a three-point shot, because that has happened on occasion. So you got to make sure it's on a catch or on a dribble, not in the act of shooting. But if you do that and you put them at the line now, you know, that potentially gives them a free opportunity to make the first, purposely miss the second, and then you have to worry about blocking out and not allowing the offensive team a chance at a putback.
Wyoming has a timeout left. Williams will inbound. Williams, Dussel, Foster, Thompson, all good three-point shooters. Thompson flips. This is Williams. There's the foul with 3 seconds left. So at least now they've advanced the ball, and the inbound, well, they're going to say the inbound, or excuse me, the foul. Williams is at the line, and he'll shoot 1 and 1. That was foul number 9 for San Diego State. You got to make the first. Made the first. Last timeout. And now I ask a great shooter, an All-American, Dan Dickow, played in the NBA, played many games in the NCAA tournament. What's the best way to miss a free throw, Dan?
First off, you got to miss it. I've seen too many scenarios like this where you're told to miss it and something happens and you make it. So the message Jeff Linder's, I'm sure, saying right now is, first off, we got to miss it. And then the question is, do we miss it soft and X our 2 offensive players on the lane line to see if we can't get a quick rebound and bucket? Or do we maybe try to miss it where it bounces high, bat it out to the three-point line where you're probably going to have a couple shooters spaced where maybe they can chase it down and get an opportunity from beyond the arc?
And not enough time to make it and then try to foul or steal?
I wouldn't imagine so, because then you'd have to go the full length of the floor again.
And you want to miss it hard, right? Because you want a carom that travels. Oh, he made it, and the clock went. They're going to have to put a second back on the clock. And you're absolutely right, Dan. That happens.
Yes. A little foreshadowing, I guess. He had the right idea. Tried to rocket it at the rim to create a long carom.
Now a steal or a foul. The foul was actually before the ball was inbounded. They may put a 1/10 of a second back up. But same scenario here. You got Mitchell going back to the line. And he has a chance to stretch it back to 3.
And Linder, with no timeouts for Wyoming, does a nice job of regrouping his guys. And Williams, oh, he can't believe it. I was trying to miss it, Coach. Seriously. I didn't mean to.
So no timeouts means if the shot is missed or if the shots are made, you got to set your play up right now.
Yes.
And Maldonado has fouled out.
And the advantage that Wyoming would have in this scenario is they've got lots of shooters, but they also have a 6'11" target who you could throw full court to in Hunter Thompson that also has the ability to shoot it from beyond the arc.
They did put, the clock I think melted down to 3.2, and they've put those 2/10 back up at 3.4. officials at the table, I think they were double checking the clock. So here we go, Mitchell again. And it is 1-1.
I'm by myself, Graham, get shooter. The ref don't get shooter with you.
Free throw's good. A chance to put it back to 3, and then right back to probably fouling again. Got it. Williams rises and missed it. And the 1 seed survives. San Diego State. All they could ask for from the 8 seed Wyoming, toe-to-toe with the regular season champs and a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and a junior. Wyoming absolutely pushed them to the brink.
You got to give Wyoming a ton of credit. Came into the conference tournament, played extremely well last night in the victory, but today, you're right, gave the 1 seed San Diego State all they could handle. In the end, San Diego State, the experience of Terrell Gomez, Jordan Shackle, and Matt Mitchell was a little too much.
And we thought game 2 was going to be the game, right?
Yes.
How about this? San Diego State advances, and game 2 is going to be a great game. You've got the 4 seed in Boise State and a red-hot Nevada team that swept the Broncos in the regular season, and of course Boise State playing for their NCAA tournament lives. Brian Dutcher joins us now. Dutch, this was really a unique game. First of all, congratulations on the win. Talk about Wyoming's game plan and what it forced you guys to do and how you were able to survive it.
I mean, Coach Linder does a great job. I mean, they've been up and down all year, and for this game, with a 1-day prep, they're able to slow the pace down. They played short clock, tried to shorten the game, and they did a really good job. And so they put us in a dilemma. Do we want to come out pressure trap or play straight? And it was a short shot clock game. I thought it was good for us, obviously, that we won it, first of all, but we play in a tempo like that where every possession's important, and we made important plays down the stretch.
Hey, Coach, what's the message to your guys who you guys get so much offensively in transition based off your defense, but then they slow it down so much, take care of the ball that you can't get out in transition and play too fast yourselves? What was the message you had for your guys?
I just said these games are going to be hard at halftime. I'm not surprised. And every game we play from the rest of the way is going to be like this one. So believe in yourselves, believe in the game plan, play whatever pace we have to play at to be successful. And I think we showed. We can play fast, we can play slow. We're on a 11-game win, 12-game win streak, and I'm just proud of our guys right now.
We talk so much about Matt Mitchell and Jordan Shackle, and we should, but the development this year of Terrell Gomez and his performance in this game, it just speaks volumes about your program and how far he's come. And he already was a decorated player when he stepped on your campus.
Yeah, for a guy that's first year in the program as a fifth-year senior, he's ready for big moments. And I just felt coming into this tournament that he would be the guy that rose his game above all else, that he's got huge swagger, he's a big shot maker, and he could be that guy in March that leads us on a long run, I'm hoping.
He was 8 of 12 and had 20 points. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Brian Dutcher and his San Diego State Aztecs, 21-4 now, number 19 in the country, and importantly through to the semifinals. For Dan Dickau, our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. This is a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Coming up next, we've got game number 2 on quarterfinal day in the Mountain West. 5-seed Nevada, 4-seed Boise State. Now we send you back to New York for Inside College Basketball Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.